Good evening and welcome to another broadcast of the GAR 1680 North Carolina Boxing Talk Radio Show. I am Paco Rivera. It is Monday, August 19th, 2013, just past our new start time for this show, 8 p.m. I should be here every Monday at 8 p.m. talking about what's going on in boxing here in North Carolina. This show is brought to you by Mid-South Boxing Academy, located in Concord, North Carolina. For all your MMA and boxing training needs, give Mike Kane a call at 704-960-8878. This show is also brought to you by Marie's Cash Crate page, for a simple way to make money at home online by just taking surveys and viewing advertisements. Just Google Marie's Cash Crate page and click on the link to learn how. You never need to buy anything or pay for anything using Marie's Cash Crate page, and you will get a check in the mail each month. You might not believe most of these make money from home deals you hear about, but this one really works. Also, don't forget to visit our North Carolina Boxing Talk blog at gar1680.blogspot.com, where we cover the local boxing scene for all North Carolina. That's gar1680.blogspot.com. And if you buy ad space on our blog, your business will also be mentioned here for free on this show each week. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter at gar1680. This show is now being done on Ustream from this newly set up studio here. There's still more that needs to be done. It's not finished yet, but hopefully soon. Let's hope all goes well with that. If anyone wants to call in during the show, you can call in. The number is 605-215-1680. If you do call in, please refrain from profanities when you speak. Also, don't stand too close to the speakers that you are hearing this show on. Just a quick warning here, since I am using the free version of Ustream, I may get interrupted from time to time with a commercial that Ustream, with no warning to me at all, will play. It may happen right when I'm in the middle of saying something. The good thing is that this show will later be uploaded to YouTube, our YouTube channel, GAR1680 Boxing Talk. And anyone that missed the show or wants to rehear it without commercial interruptions, they won't be there if that happens. By the way, I'm asking YouTube listeners catching the replay of this show to help me out here. Please let the YouTube commercial that plays at the beginning play out completely before you hit that skip button. I do this show mostly because of my love for boxing and wanting to share it with everyone out there. But it would be helpful for me to keep this going if I can get something back for it. And letting the entire commercial play on YouTube play out at the beginning would be a great help. This past Saturday, I was at the World of Champions boxing event that took place at Centerstage at Noda in Charlotte. And let me tell you, if you weren't there, you missed a great night of action. The promoter, my friend Bellanora McCallum, outdid herself this time by putting on a spectacular event. Even if anyone else did show up, I'm not sure if you could have gotten in. The place appeared to have reached its maximum capacity. Rough head count I took appeared to me to be about 300 or so fans in attendance, which kind of filled the room. Not a very big place for boxing, I would say. And I don't think they had that many seats. I don't think they had 300 seats there. So I saw people standing alongside the walls and all around the rear of the venue. A very exciting night. I mean, the place was jumping. The crowd was yelling with excitement for almost every fight. There were 7 bouts that were topped off with the Coleman event featuring Charlotte's own Jared the Quiet Storm Robinson. And in the main event, coming back after about a year off, Quinton, the fighter, Rankin, who we know as Q, also from Charlotte. And even when fights weren't actually happening, people were entertained by other things going on, such as a show with the Ring Girls, which, by the way, there were about 7 or 8 Ring Girls, and it was well worth it to be at the fights just for them, if you know what I mean. I'd say those girls put HBO's or Showtime's Corona Girls to shame that night. Anyway, between fights, I saw people from the crowd having a great time, meeting one another and talking all around the room. Everyone was getting along great there. I met and spoke to quite a few of the people around me. One, in fact, is a professional heavyweight fighter from Denver, Colorado, Louis Monaco, who, quite honestly, I hadn't heard of, but I did look him up later, and I did speak to him quite a bit about his career. He plans on relocating here to North Carolina and to continue his career here. His girlfriend, a lovely young woman that was with him and who I also met and spoke with quite a bit, lives here, I think in the Charlotte area. Louis Monaco has fought some well-known names such as Vitaly Klitschko, Michael Dokes, who Louis Monaco defeated. He also fought James Buster Douglas. If anyone remembers, Buster Douglas is the one that shocked the world back in 1990 when he knocked out at 37-0 Mike Tyson. Tyson was 37-0. Now, while talking to Louis, he told me he knocked out Buster Douglas, which I later found out is true. But Louis was disqualified in the fight because the punch happened after the first round ended. You know who else Louis Monaco fought? Butterbean. Anyone old enough to remember Butterbean? He was like a one-man show all to himself, wasn't he? Well, it was Louis Monaco's second fight in his career, and Butterbean was 14-0. So Butterbean got a KO in round 1. Butterbean at that time was knocking everybody out in the first round. It was great meeting Monaco and taking pictures with him. Many others around me also wanted pictures, and he was more than happy to oblige. So let's watch for Louis Monaco, who should be, he says, settling here soon in North Carolina. I also got to see again the great Mr. Humpy Wheeler at the fights, and got to say hello. Spoke to him for a little bit. Humpy, as most of you may already know, is not just one of the biggest names in the sport of boxing in North Carolina because of all he contributes to it, but he is one of the biggest names in our state, period. Humpy is also the executive chairman of the board of directors of the Carolinas Boxing Hall of Fame. Carolinas Boxing Hall of Fame. The display for the Boxing Hall of Fame can be seen at the Bojangles Coliseum, by the way, on East Dependence Boulevard in Charlotte.
This is the Boxing Talk Show on GAR 1680.
So 7 fights this past Saturday night. All were very entertaining. It would have been nice to see some of the North Carolina fighters competing in the undercard win their matches. Unfortunately, the guys from our state that appeared earlier in the evening lost to guys from places such as New Jersey or Ohio that came in to take them on. Now, our guys did win in the co-main event and the main event. Jared, the Quiet Storm Robinson of Charlotte, who is not only undefeated with a record now of 14-0, he is also considered one of North Carolina's best fighters and is very likely a future light welterweight world champion. Jared easily defeated his opponent, Jihad Wingfield, by TKO at 136 of the first round. Wingfield's record drops to 1-9-1. Personally, I would have liked to see Jared match with someone with a little better than a 1-8 record, which is what Wingfield had. But I guess it didn't matter, since the fight, during the short period it lasted, had most of the crowd on their feet cheering on the Quiet Storm from Charlotte. Many of you know that Jared is originally from South Carolina, but has made his home here. I got to speak to Jared for a moment following the fight. My stepdaughter, who was with me and also trains for boxing, was thrilled about having her picture taken with Jared. I mentioned to him that she trains alongside an excellent amateur fighter from Concord, North Carolina, named Jamal Gregory, who Jared knows because they have also sparred together recently. In the main event, it was Quinton Rankin, also of Charlotte, who hadn't fought since June 2012. In a phone conversation I had a few months ago, Q told me that he injured his hand that year, and then aggravated the injury while sparring with world champion Andre Ward out in California, when Ward was training for an upcoming fight. But Rankin came back to the ring in impressive fashion and looking very sharp. And without a hint of ring rust, Rankin now fights under the tutelage of his trainer, Corelius Reese, who I also had the pleasure of meeting and talking to Saturday. I mentioned how Q was disappointed when I spoke to him about the officiating and some bad calls from referees and the 2 losses that he has on his record. And Reese was telling me how now that he is training Q, we will see nothing but wins added to his record for some time to come. Anyway, what I was saying, I didn't notice any ring rust with Q. He was firing accurate punches at a very tough opponent, Jamil Gadsden, who was 0-3, but very tough. And but Q was able to wear him down and stopped the boxer from New Jersey by KO in round 3. Now, if anyone is interested in getting a DVD with footage of the fights that took place this past Saturday night in Charlotte, I met the gentleman who recorded the event as a service for anyone wanting to purchase a DVD. Here, I'm going to go ahead and give this person a free plug on the show here. If you want footage, contact Ronald Woodruff at 704-232-0685. Ronald Woodruff Jr. 704-232-0685. He has all the fights recorded and will provide them to anyone requesting the DVD. I think I heard that the DVD is $15. Oh, okay. Ronald Woodruff is with Groundbreaking Video Productions. Okay, Groundbreaking Video Productions. You can find him on Twitter. His website is www.groundbreakingvideoproductions.com. Now, with that said, a few weeks ago I did a radio show on Blog Talk Radio, which is where I was before Ustream, and talked about the problems with boxing. And one of the things I talked about was how I don't agree with these video production services recording events to be sold on DVD. I think the promoters of boxing would do a lot better by simply uploading all the footage online. For instance, like on YouTube, where millions of people have access to it and can freely see it. And here's why. Think about it. What that would do is show the world how great the event was. Because, I mean, how many people are going to buy the DVD? If they're lucky, maybe 100. Millions could see the recordings on something like YouTube. And when the next event happens, a lot more people will buy tickets. Well, the event may have to be moved to a bigger venue, but that's beside the point. As I said in the show you wouldn't be able to buy better advertisement than having previous events shown on YouTube, for instance. But once again, if you're interested in seeing the fights for yourself, maybe because you weren't there, contact Ronald Woodruff Jr. at Groundbreaking Productions. On a sad note, on the 17th, we also had a boxer from Charlotte fighting out in Atlantic City. John Spidey, the boxing poet Williams, didn't fare well against his Cuban opponent, Jordanis Ugas. The Atlantic City bouts was an HBO television event, but I don't think Spidey's undercard bout was televised. Here, I'll read here from a report published by FightNews.com. Jordanis Ugas, 15-1 with 7 KOs. I suppose that's his new record. Punished John Williams, who is now 11-3-1 with 5 KOs, over 10 rounds to win the WBC Latin Junior Interim Championship. Latin Interim Championship. So if Spidey won, he would have gotten the Latin Championship belt. I'll read on. Ugas dominated this light welterweight fight, frequently rocking Williams, but was unable to find the finishing blow to end the fight early. Ugas also received a point deduction in round 10 for a low blow. The judges at ringside scored the fight 98-91, 98-91, and 99-90, all in favor of Ugas. That tells me that Ugas pretty much won every round. Spidey is a great guy and a very good fighter, so I'm sure that fighting the tough Cuban Olympian was an excellent experience that will only make him better, and we will see him again soon.
This is the Boxing Talk and Old Time Boxing Show on Ustream, presented by GAR 1680.
If anyone wants to call in now while we're on live, the number to call is 605-215-1680. That's 605-215-1680. I also have the chat room open here on Ustream. I'm not sure if that works well, but I'm monitoring that. If anyone wants to send a message, I'll glance at it from time to time to see if I can catch that. Remember also, anyone wanting to write can send their email to gar1680@gmail.com if you have an interesting story to tell regarding the boxing scene here in North Carolina. I will read those aloud here on the show. Remember, anyone joining as a new member of the blog will be mentioned and thanked on this show also. So let's do that now. I want to thank our newest blog members of the North Carolina Boxing Talk blog. Members of the blog: Taya Bailey, OPFOR Boxer 13, Heidi, Mike, Yvonne C, Joey Guy, Gary Digital Williams, Jessica Mayer, Petros Pipo, and Tuck. Thank you once again for joining as members of our blog site. You can find our blog at gar1680.blogspot.com, and it is totally free to join. Okay, I just received news about something else. Kernersville, North Carolina. Undefeated heavyweight Joshua Too Tough Tufte. I got some news that I want to read out to you here. This is what I got. I wanted to let you know that Josh won another fight over the weekend. He fought Friday night in Wheeling, West Virginia, against Justin Novaria, who was 2-11 with 2 KOs at the time. Josh knocked him down a couple of times, but Novaria was tough and continued on to finish the fight. Josh won a unanimous decision, winning every round. Josh put on a great show and really got to showcase some of his skills. Justin came to fight, and weighed in at a career low from what I understand. The card was promoted by Made Men Promotions. It was a great night and a lot of fun. I just thought you'd like an update on what Josh has been up to. Okay, well, this fight must have come up at the last minute because I didn't know Tufte was going to be fighting. So I guess that means that Tufte is now 14-0. I'd like to thank Heidi Tufte for that message. Okay, Coach Al Simpson, the legendary Coach Al Simpson, over at the Charlotte Boxing Academy, will feature an event in Charlotte that is not only going to be a lot of fun, but will also be an excellent cause in the community. Coach Al is holding a first responders charity boxing event on Friday, September 13th, in honor of first responders on 9/11 and in memory of that tragic day in our history. On Friday, September 13th, you can come out and actually see police, sheriff, firefighters, and highway patrol officers boxing each other in a tournament taking place at the Revolution Park Sports Academy on Remount Road in Charlotte, which is also where the Charlotte Boxing Academy is located. This is a charity event where the prize of awards will go to selected local charities chosen by the first responders who will be competing in the event. On the following day, Saturday, September 14th, there will be an amateur boxing invitational, the Carolinas Invitational Boxing Tournament. Amateurs from South and North Carolina that have signed up will be competing. So be sure to come out for 2 days of fun on September 13th and 14th and bring the whole family. Trust me, kids especially would love seeing this, seeing these police officers and firemen duking it out. Coming up this Saturday, August 24th, the Champions East Promotional Company will feature a boxing event in Wilson, North Carolina, that will take place at the Recreation Park Community Center. Scheduled on the card from North Carolina will be Undefeated Noel Shut Up Echevarria, who is now 11-0, of Winston-Salem. And also from our state will be Rodney Fremont Vet Green, who is 7-1, fighting for his hometown fans since he is from Wilson, where the bouts will take place. Okay, I'll go ahead and end the show here. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to comment your thoughts on our blog site, GAR 1680 North Carolina Boxing Talk blog, which can be found at gar1680.blogspot.com. This is Paco Rivera. See you next time.
Ladies and gentle ducks, in that corner. In that corner.